Hey everybody, it's Carol Billing. Let's make an MLA document. So we're going to start by finding our Word program. And this computer has Office 2010 and 2013. So I'm going to go into Word 2013. And we're going to make it full screen because it costs nothing extra. That's a joke because sometimes students will work on like a part of the screen and I never can figure out why because I'm old and I need to see things. All right, so this zoom is pretty good, but if I wanted to, I could hold down Control and roll the ball on my mouse to zoom it in or zoom it out. And I'm also starting with the non-printing characters. So that's this here, these hard returns. I like to work with the non-printing characters on because it just enables me to see everything that's going on with the page. And it's kind of like you see the page, sort of like the way the computer sees the page. To begin, we're going to go into the header, and the easiest way to enter the header is to right-click up here, this is the header at the top of the page, and do Edit Header. And that pops you right in. Now the computer sees the header, the section here at the top, is a separate piece. So you have to set the font and the size separate from the body down here. The computer will repeat whatever's in the header at the top of every page. So we're going to put in your last name, space, and then we're going to insert a page number. And that way every page is going to have the correct page number without you having to type in 1, 2, and 3. So we go page number, current position, plain number. And I use this one because I'm going to format it according to the style parameters of MLA. So I've got that there. I'm going to first do select all, which is Control A on my keyboard. And what that does is it ensures I've just grabbed every element or character that's in the header. And I'm going to set the font and size one time to everything in the header. So dropping down the font, I'm going to scroll here to Times New Roman, which is way down here. The nice thing about this is once you set the font once, this will actually be at the top. So now you can see it's right here under recently used. Okay, and the size is going to go to 12. And the last thing we have to do with the header is flush it all the way to the right. So align left is pretty cool because no matter what you add to it here, it's always going to stay pushed up against the right margin. The other thing I want to make sure that you know is when you have extra hard returns here, if you have too many, it starts to make your header too tall. And this is going to throw off the formatting of your page. And it will make the body where your actual essay is down here too small. And so I always caution students to make sure you only have one hard return. I don't know why that's doing that. Okay, there we go. Only one hard return or one page return right here, or enter key, whatever you want to call that. You only have one after your name. So I have my name, I have the page number. I know it's going to automatically update because it makes this gray box around it when I click on it. And when I click on something that's just a letter, there's no box. And that is all you need to do with the header. So now to go back into the body, you can just double click into the body, or if you have trouble with that, click on your contextual tab here, Header and Footer Tools, and then click on Close Header and Footer. And all that does is pops you out of the header and into the body. So this is the header, and I know that because it says it here, and this is the body. Okay, up here, this is pretty straightforward. Your name is first. So I'm pretending like I'm the student, and this would be my instructor's name. And I'll just put doctor on that so you guys will remember that is the instructor. Then it is the course and the date. Whoops, did you see that? Okay, the computer has decided, oh, she wants to write the word January, so I can hit the enter key here and it'll put the rest of it in for me. It's kind of handy. And that autofill pops up frequently from time to time, so if you pay attention, you can simplify what you're doing. Okay, your name, teacher name, course name, date. The date is in kind of a goofy order. It's day, month, year, written out with one space in between each. So that little circle equals a space. If I took this off, it looks like that. No commas, no punctuation. The next thing is you're going to write your title. It would help if I spelled it right. Okay. And for the title, you're going to just center it in the middle. And the one thing I love about using the centering alignment key is no matter what you do to that line, it always stays in the center. Sorry about that. My numlocks weren't on. There we go. Very good. Okay, so on my clipboard, I have some text here that I wrote before I began. Kind of like one of those cooking shows where they put it in the oven and then they pull it out and it's done in like 3 seconds, but it's really because somebody cooked it another day or whatever. Okay, so I'm going to stick in that text. This would be the text of my best vacation essay. So one thing you want to make sure is that this body is all aligned to the left with a ragged, this is called a ragged right edge. If you were to use this, fully justified, it makes it look like that, which is very nice, but it makes the spacing in between the words a little bit goofy and stretched out. And it also looks a lot like a legal document, which is not what we're going for. So a ragged right is what's used in newspapers, and it's what people are most used to seeing. So you want to stay with that. And then you want to add an indent here. And so to indent the paragraph, I use the tab button, which is automatically set to indent 1/2 inch. And I know that because I can go up here to view and click on ruler. And now here you can see the indent has occurred. That's the indent. The first line indent is that little triangle there. Now when it goes to the end of the row and it goes to wrap, it wraps to this triangle here. Okay, same thing here. Tab key moves it forward. First line indent. And same thing here. So here's my essay is written. My paragraphs are tabbed in. My header is centered. I've got the correct information, correct class, correct date format. The last thing I'm going to do is change the font size and the spacing. To do that, I'm going to do Control A first because that ensures I've selected everything in the whole document. You can see down here it's selected some hard returns that aren't showing. This is actually what the computer sees. And this is exactly why I use Control A. Because if you didn't use Control A, you probably wouldn't have seen those, especially if you were working in this view. You would have selected only these things, and then you would have these 2 hard returns here that are retaining different formatting than what you actually want the document to do. And so if you put your cursor there on accident, and you didn't know those weren't formatted right, you're going to start writing and it's going to be in the wrong font and it's going to be in the wrong size and spacing and it's going to look goofy. So Control A is your best friend because it always gets everything except it does not grab the header. And now we'll set the font, and this is cool because it's right here from when we did it in the header. 12 point here. And then the last thing we're going to do is the paragraph dialog box, which you get from this button here. And what I'm concerned with now is just spacing. So I want to make sure that it's 0 before and then 0 after. And if you watch, this spacing down here is going to disappear. See how tight that is? Let me show you again. When you're here and you could say 12 above, this gray is above the line. And so this is not double spaced. This is just 12 points above the first paragraph in each line. Okay, paragraph dialog box again. So we'll take that out. 0, 0, and double. So you always want to make sure you've got 0, 0, and double. And this is true MLA format. So you've got your name, page number that automatically changes to page 2 on page 2, etc. Your name, the instructor, the course, the date in the right format, day, month, year. Your title is centered. Your paragraphs are indented. Everything is set to Times New Roman 12 point and double spaced, true double spaced. So paragraph, dialog box, 0, 0, and double. Pretty easy, right? I hope so. Make sure before you do the spacing you hit Control A and then set your spacing. If you have nothing selected and you go in here and do your paragraph, it's not going to apply it to anything but that little bitty space, which doesn't matter because there isn't even any text selected, so it's really not going to apply it anywhere. So make sure that you always hit Control A and do your font, your size, and your spacing 0, 0, double. And then your teacher should be pretty happy with how the essay looks. I hope this was helpful.